Facebook land. I'm just making sure everything works here. Kicked everyone out of the house. I'm testing it. If you're watching, can you tell me if you can hear me? And I will grab a glass of wine because it's happy hour. Hi, Todd. Can you hear me? This is so, you would think that I would be, like, I've been a musician like my whole life and that I would have some sort of technical setup here, but I literally have my iPad on children's blocks and a bunch of books and no real microphone because I spend all my money on toys now. So, and don't be surprised if some little kids come rolling in, or maybe my husband, he's out turkey hunting. But it is a windy day here at the ranch, and it's clouding over. It's a nice time to be hanging out with you this afternoon. And like I said, I kicked everyone out of the house, so I might just play until like 10, 11 o'clock. But if you haven't already, go to safeathomefest.com and check out the other musicians that are on the lineup. They've been playing all day. I know a local musician friend of mine out of Watford City, Devin Wolf, just wrapped up his concert in his living room, and he's a great player. I love watching him kind of progress, and he comes to Mom's open mic nights at Door 204. We were supposed to have one of those actually, I think yesterday. Just a month ago, we did our last one. Just a month ago, we were all okay and we were all together, and it's crazy how it feels like that was a year ago, but time is ticking a little bit slower for everybody now as we count down the days and watch everything going on. In some ways, my life hasn't changed that much, except so much of what I do revolves around gathering people and having parties, and my life with the Long X Arts Foundation is creating programming and creating arts for people to enjoy in the community. My job with tourism is the same thing, and all of that has been put on pause right now. I'm working on my new album, playing favorites. That's all set and kind of ready to roll out, and we were going to do some concerts in May, and we'll just kind of push that back and try to be innovative with what we're going to do to get that music out to you. But most importantly, we just need to stay safe and healthy, and then of course we're just so lucky that we have this kind of technology so we can get our music and talk to each other and get our art out into the world. So that's kind of been fun. I've been doing a lot of art projects with the kids and pushing them out to our Long X Arts Foundation pages. I've been doing a lot of music with them. We've been playing and eating a lot. They change clothes like 37,000 times a day, so I'm doing a lot of laundry. But a lot of this, like my little sister lives over the hill. My parents live down the road from us, and we were talking about what this is like. And we're out on the ranch in the middle of nowhere, and if you didn't have the news, it would be just like when we were growing up out here. We didn't go a lot of places. Dad said that we're just living now the way that we used to live. Back in the day, we didn't go to town, and we just stayed and worked on the farm, and so we're lucky. We're lucky to be here at the ranch. Lots of baby calves being born. I think we have a 9 now, so we're right in the middle of it, and thankful for the snow to have stopped falling. There's crocuses out there. I've been walking every day down to the east pasture, and I'm not happy to report that I did my first real live stream video of the first wood tick of the season crawling on my pants. So yeah, no thank you to the wood ticks. Like, it has literally not been above 60 degrees and they're already alive and crawling. So that's not something to celebrate. Thank you all for tuning in. This is cool to see all of you kind of rolling in here to this little watch party. And like I said, I've kicked everyone out of the house. I have a glass of wine. I'm alone, a happy hour. So like I said, I might just play for you till 11 o'clock. We'll see what happens. Oh, it used to be when I was writing music before kids, like when we would have downtime, when I would have downtime like this, that's all I would do. But I would sit on my bedroom floor and write and write. And now my inspiration comes from watching them grow and the chaos that's involved. So yeah, no ticks. You miss the prairie, but no ticks. I don't miss the ticks in the winter. My little Edie was saying, when is it summer? When is it summer, Mom? I said, oh, when it's summer, then you don't have to wear a coat. And she said, but then the bugs come out. We can't have it all in North Dakota. Anyway, so I guess I can take some requests too, and I can't promise that I remember all the words anymore, because, I blame my small children on my memory loss, which is nice to have an excuse. But I wanted to maybe treat this little in-house concert sort of the way that I would go through some of the songs I haven't played for a long time and stuff that has been running in my head. Of course, we lost one of my biggest influences just this past last week, which was John Prine. That hit us hard over here. We've been playing John Prine songs. He was my influence before I even knew I had an influence, even knew who he was. My dad would play John Prine songs for us on his guitar, and I learned Speed of the Sound of Loneliness when I was just a little girl. And I have a fun story about John Prine. The last time we saw him actually was in Vegas, and that was just a couple winters ago during the NFR. And he was playing on behalf of his latest album. But the first time I saw him was when I went to school at UND. It was my freshman year at college, and I think it was only a couple months in. And my dad said, John Prine's playing at the Chester Fritz, and you need to go out there. You need to check him out and see him, and I know you'll like it. And so Chad and I went to John Prine at the Chester Fritz, and we were the youngest ones there, I'm sure. I think I was just turned 18, and he started playing all of these songs that I knew all of these songs. And I guess, when you grow up in the time that I grew up in, where we didn't have a lot internet, really, and all the music I was listening to was either coming from the radio on the school bus or whatever CDs I could get my hands on. My dad, but it was just all coming from my dad's guitar and his record players and his tapes, and that's where it kind of grew my love of folk music. And so I was sitting in that seat in the Chester Fritz, and of course, if you've been to a John Prine concert, people just yell requests at him. And I was I just was so homesick and so lonesome and just crying. And I called my parents, and I was like, I didn't know I knew John Prine. He was singing all of the songs of my childhood. So I'm missing him, I guess, in such a weird way, how you could miss a musician, that his music lives on and it will live on forever. But to know that we lost a legend in that way on this earth has been a tough one. So I'm going to probably start here with a John Prine song, of course, and then kind of go through some of the music that I put on this new album, Playing Favorites. And that's set to roll out hopefully in June. And that sort of mentality, I've never done a cover album before. But I was looking at my little kids, my daughter Edie, who's 4 and going on 17, and little Rosie, who was born an old soul, and having my dad down the road and my parents here with us on the ranch, and my neighbor Kelly and these guys that I've been playing with since I was just a little kid, all of these old songs like Circle and Muhlenberg County, and songs that I grew up singing, like Watermelon Dream, Guy Clark songs. And I just thought, boy, I need to get these down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but my kids need to have this sort of songbook and this collection of music that I grew up listening to, not from my mouth necessarily and from my lungs, but from the people who are singing it to me. And so I felt not frantic about it, but it would be very timely that we would be able to put this down, knowing that as you get a little bit older, and especially when you have kids, and I didn't realize this, how much time just you can see it just passing in front of your face. Just a blink ago, I was praying and wishing and hoping that I would become a mother, and now I'm spending my days yelling at them, telling them to love each other and quit fighting, and you don't need to change into another dress for the 37th time today, and all of these little annoying things that come with parenthood. But I'm teaching them these songs that I grew up singing, and it's been very important to me. So that is what Playing Favorites is all about. There's music on there from Guy Clark. There's just some old hymns on there that I love singing in our old country church. There's my neighbor Kelly is on there yodeling. My dad is singing a few tunes himself. Dancing in the Meadow, Michael Martin Murphey song is on the album. Just done in his own way, where my dad has, started playing that song in coffee houses and coffee shops, and I never even knew the original version of that. We got to see Michael Martin Murphy at the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering this winter too, so that was a real treat. And I got to take the stage with Dad and Mike Endrud, who is playing on the album as well. So it's Mike and Dad and John Lardney, who I just really grown to love as a player and as a human, and who has helped me in my career since I first moved back and did Nothing's Forever at Makoche Studio, which is where I have recorded this new album, Nothing's Forever, when I first moved back, and then I did a Nashville album in between, and wanted to come home, back to Bismarck, back to the ranch, and really feature local musicians on this album. So I think you're going to really like it when we get rolling, and once we can all be together again, we'll get out into the world and play live. Someone just told me that musicians are being so innovative right now, doing concerts in these ways. But the Waddington brothers out here in southwestern North Dakota, they did an interesting concert. I heard they took a radio, so they got a radio signal, and they went in a parking lot and people parked their cars, and they did a listening concert. They could listen to them live on their radio and watch them from afar. So what cool things we can come up with when we have the time and we just kind of long to connect with each other. So you know me, I'm a Lutheran church basement lady who got this accent from that particular upbringing, and I could talk all night long and tell stories, and I can, but you're here for the music, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching, and let's just hope everyone stays away for about a half an hour so we can get this music done. But cheers to you. Happy hour, right? Virtual. Have a little glass of wine, and just a quick funny story about these glasses. These are my grandma Edie's glasses. And when we were first starting our kind of distancing and staying at home with the girls, my husband has started a new contracting business, and so he was on the phone with a client, but we had been playing fancy restaurant with the girls, and so we're at this kitchen table, and Rosie is very aware, like when we're drinking wine or when Daddy's drinking whiskey or whatever. So we filled these glasses with milk for them, and we were pretending like I was the waitress and Chad was the waiter or the cook or whatever. And he got a phone call and he was talking to his client, and Rosie lifts her glass up full of milk. Well, it was empty then, and she goes, "More wine, please," like really, really loud while he was on the phone. So we're parents of the year right here. So I'm gonna start with "Speed of the Sound of Loneliness." Just one of the first songs I think I ever learned, but of course a John Prine song. Come home late and you come home early. You come home big when you're feeling small. You come home straight and you come home girly. Sometimes you don't come home at all. So what in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? Broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. It's a mighty mean and a dreadful sorrow cross the evil line today. How can we talk about tomorrow when you ain't got a good word to say? So what in the world's come over you? Oh, what in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be home. How can a love that lasts forever or be left so far behind? So what in the world's come over you? Oh, what in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be home. What in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be home. It's a mighty mean and a dreadful sorrow across the evil line today. And how can we talk about tomorrow when you ain't got a good word to say? What in the world's come over you? Oh, what in heaven's name have you done? Broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. You're out there running just to be on the run. You're out there running just to be on the run. Oh, this is so cool. There's so many of you watching. Thank you so much. All of these names coming up, although I'd much rather see faces, of course. I'm looking right at myself singing, which is awful. But thank you for giving me a reason to fix my hair, kind of, and put on some red lipstick. I found a stick of red lipstick that my girls haven't eaten yet. So that was a win today. Please tell me, all of you that are quarantined at home without children, like, what is it like? I can't even imagine. Like, I know I still wouldn't get this house clean, but perhaps, I don't know, we would sweep the floors and not have to sweep them, 45 seconds later, right? So I saw John Lardney got on here too. Hi, John. He's just a great player. I was talking about playing favorites, and he's been really instrumental in getting this new album rolling, and he's playing some mean guitar on it, and so I really can't wait to get this out into the world, so be watching for that, of course, and I can't wait to play it live for you, but maybe we'll have to have like a band, a social distancing concert at the ranch. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a big party at the ranch after all of this is over in the fall, and we'll get a big tent, and we'll just play music and invite musicians and do it all in person. Watch for that. I think we're gonna do that. I think I'm committing to that right now. We've been saying we're gonna do it for so long. Let's just do it. So kind of going along, we do have a John Prine song on the album. It's Muhlenberg County. Well, I call it Muhlenberg County. It's Paradise. But I'm not going to play that one right now because, of course, it just sounds so much better when Dad sings it and we all sing along, especially when we're at the Legion Club in Watford City or maybe around the campfire. But I am going to sing this song from my childhood. I learned it from Guy Clark. I learned it from my dad, of course, but he learned it from Guy Clark. And it's one of those folk songs, those story songs that kind of takes you along and puts you in a moment. And just a note on that, and I've thought about this as I've gotten older, you know, you think about your style and your influences, and they ask you, especially when I was younger and trying to sort of get out in the music scene, like, you know, kind of, can you describe your music? And it was before Americana was really a thing that a word that people said. So it was like folk country, whatever, but I really liked music that told a story, and I always did, and I didn't always know how to categorize that, and I don't think I would still be singing and performing if it wasn't for the writing, and if it wasn't for songs like this next song that I'm going to sing for you, that made me feel something, that made me introduce me to characters, that made me feel like there was interesting people in the world, and that you could turn a phrase and in 3 minutes take someone to a different place and to meet someone. And this is a sort of one of those songs that does that. Of course, it's not a commercialized song at all, but it's a story song. And this is called Indian Cowboy. And I just learned this, so bear with me. This was always the song that Dad sang to us kids, and now going back to record it, I was thinking, like, this is tragic. It's a tragic song, but we loved it because we could sit there. It has a hero. I put down the wrong key on here. There we go. If you ever go out to the circus where the Wallanders walk on the wire, I'll tell you a tale to remember, where the white horses leaped rings of fire. It was a cold night in Oklahoma, and the show was about to begin, and the animals, they were all restless when the star horse broke from her pen. Now she was a mare of high spirits, like a girl on a Saturday night, and she was bucking and kicking past the men who were brushing the elephants lying on their sides. And next to the tent sat some lanterns. They were dangerously close to the hay. That mare headed straight for those lanterns some fool had put there by mistake. Then up stepped that Indian cowboy, and his lasso went whirling through the air. And in the full dead middle of danger, he roped that runaway mare. Then the elephants, they raised up their trumpets. Then two of them broke from their chains. They stampeded that Indian cowboy who had saved the big top from flame. So if you ever go out to the circus where the Wallanders walk on the wire, I'll tell you a tale to remember, where the white horses leaped rings of fire. I was going through some of these songs that I picked for the new album, and like one after another, I'm like, gosh, you know, when you sing it and you read the words, like, this is not a happy song. But I love Indian Cowboy because it has a hero, right? And it has a lesson, and it has all of these images in it, and that's what Guy Clark does. There's another Guy Clark song on the album, Watermelon Dream. Of course, I'm not going to sing that one, but Dad sings it. And that was my childhood, Watermelon Dream and The Fist. singing at Art in the Park, sitting next to Dad in my like Garth Brooks shirt buttoned all the way up to the top button, and very like serious about the gig that I was playing, and really never said a word and just sang along. And Watermelon Dream makes me feel like I'm 10 years old again, sliding down a hill in a cardboard box, and with my bare legs itchy from the grass. Ranch kids should never wear shorts, but we do it anyway. Hi, Sue. This is fun to see all your names rolling. I'm easily distracted, so I'm sorry I'm not giving more shout outs, but if any of you want to hear something, let me know. We'll see what I can do. I'm gonna do a song that I wrote that's on the album Northern Lights. I wrote this song before I had babies, and it's kind of watching the mothers in my life, the new mothers, and then of course growing up and starting your own life and getting married and trying to start a family. Starting to think about what the sacrifices that my own mother and maybe my grandmothers made for their kids. And I remember writing the song on the floor of one of our rooms in this house that we're just continuously building on, and thinking about, I just created a character in my mind based off of maybe what I thought I might be like as a mom, or I always thought maybe when we were having trouble having kids, thinking like, well, maybe that's okay. Like maybe, once I have these babies, I won't be able to be as creative. I won't be able to be on the road as much. I won't be able to, to do all the things that I want to do in the same ways. And it made me nervous, really honestly, because I didn't see a lot of women at that time in the media or the music that I was listening to. We weren't as, growing up especially, you didn't get to see on TV like the moms and their kids. There wasn't social media, so you didn't get to see behind the scenes. And so I always thought, these women that's all they did and that's all they could do, and they sacrificed everything for their craft. I didn't see them also in the role of mother or in the role of wife, or maybe they were a photographer too, or maybe they were a rancher or farmer on the as well. Like we only got to see one side of them. So I didn't really understand that, except for I did see it in my own parents, that they kept their creative drive even after becoming parents and all the responsibilities that come with adulthood. And I thank them for that. And then I realized once I had my first daughter, after you kind of grow her up and get her being able to tell you what she needs, like, yeah, more than ever, I think it's important to continue my craft and to continue music and to continue to be creative and do the things that make me me, because I want her and I want Rosie and my daughters and my nieces and nephew to know that you can be more than one thing. You can be a mom, you can be a singer, or my girls, they want to be worker guys when they grow up. So you can be all of that and be a mother too, and sometimes you make sacrifices to make that happen. But when I wrote Jiggity Jig, I was really in that headspace of what mothers do sacrifice for their children. And I'm right now in my life working to try to find what doesn't exist, which is balance. But maybe just if I can't find balance, then, and especially now in this time really that we're getting to sort of take a breath, not having to go anywhere, not having to meet the same rigorous schedule, that maybe just pinpoint the things that matter the most and focus on those things. And music has always been one of those things for me, and I'm really having fun seeing the girls enjoy it too. So this is Jiggity Jig. See if I can remember. There we go. I didn't write any notes. I'm not prepared always. If you've come to one of my live shows, you know that we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants. Anyone who's played with me knows that too. She takes that Chevy on the back roads in the morning, fastest way to work and home again. Picks up the children and the paychecks and the groceries, keeps them fed. No time for dreaming now, it's time for bed. She knows when to expect him, what to make for breakfast, thinks a woman should know better things by heart. A million little stories put together for a reason to plays the part. Tomorrow's coming down, a brand new start. The nights don't get better, in the morning it gets brighter. Angie knows the story from both ends. What you have to gain, you have to lose when you're a fighter. And Angie, don't you think this world's too big? Come home again, jiggity jig. Once she tried to make it to the big stage from the basement. Once she had a couple catchy lines, and then she loved somebody, and then they had a baby 9 to 5. Don't talk to Angie about wasting time. Now she spends her time in movies and love they're in on TV, teaching other people's kids to dance. And somewhere in between the fairy wings and old-time stories, she missed a chance. Don't say it's not too late, she'll say she can't. The night don't get better, in the morning it gets brighter. Angie knows the story from both ends. What you have to gain, you have to lose when you're a fighter. And Angie, don't you think this world's too big? Come home again, jiggity jig. When you are a young girl, they tell you you are pretty. When you're an old woman, you are wise. Somewhere in between those fairy wings and old-time stories, you get by. Oh, you get by. Oh, you get by. It's not that she don't love him. It's not that she used to type. It's not that she thought things were better then. Sometimes late at night when all the lights are down, it's quiet, she lets it in. Oh, close your eyes tight, girl, and find yourself again. The night don't get better, in the morning it gets brighter. Angie knows the story from both ends. What you have to gain, you have to lose when you're a fighter. And Angie, don't you think this world's too big? Come home again, jiggity jig. Now that I'm a mom, I could probably write like 37 more verses to that story. And I just saw my Angie Kincaid is watching. She's my sister-in-law. And I just have to give her a shout out and a thank you for sending me over a giant box of hand-me-downs from her youngest daughter, Prine, who is maybe going through her stuff during this time where she has 3 of her own older girls at home. And I can just see it now. They were like cleaning out the closets, and Prine put together a little box for my girls. And it is full of makeup, nail polish, glitter, hair bows, so much makeup and so much glitter. Like, we've had a serious amount of glitter related incidents and injuries in our house. Like, thank you, Angie, and thank you, Prine. I'm having an extra glass of wine for you because you should see my house right now. Yeah, I love you, Angie. Maybe it's a time to do this new song for you. Haven't written. It's interesting, and my dad, he said that to me. As he got older, it was harder for him to write. I write a column every week for newspapers across the state, which is a wonderful gig, and thank you all for reading. Yeah, thank you from Arizona. Thank you, Cindy. But thank you for reading the column. But writing a song takes a little bit more out of me, I think, and it takes a little bit more of, like, when it comes to you, you need to sit down and need to grab it. And so I haven't written a lot of music since I've become a mom. but I've revised things and I've performed quite a bit. This one came out of me one day just recently, and I want to share it with you. It's brand new, so let's see if I can do it. I of course don't have it written down, but this is kind of one of those reflection songs on motherhood and parenthood, and all of the ways that we get there and all the ways that we change because of it. So this is called, I don't know what this is called yet. Okay, there we go. So you get a little glimpse into it all gets so messy. That's what they told me. And all of these long days, you blink and they've gone away. We put up the swing set, and you weren't even here yet. And we set off to worrying the way that you worry when you're hoping. Now our kitchen table, oh, it's covered in colors, and we spill and fight and laugh just like all of the others. And they could have told me over and over, but I could only know what I don't know by becoming your mother. And sometimes I forget just how quiet it was before you arrived and opened me up. And you are my baby, and I am forever your home. So whatever you need, I'm here to be. Now you're downstairs dreaming, oh, and I'm never sleeping. And you look at me, it's all I once believed in. And this world will shake you, it'll try to erase you. Oh, just be brave and strong and wild, just like I made you. Oh, just like I made you. And sometimes I forget just how quiet it was before you arrived and opened me up. And you are my baby, and I am forever your home. So whatever you need, I am here to be. And it's the ticking of time that puts shackles on us. There's never enough before there's never enough. The day you arrive and the next you are out on your own. And I'm left here to be setting you free. Whatever you need, always believe you can come back to me. it all gets so messy. That's what they told me. And all of those long days, you blink and they've gone away. That one is for my little sister Alex, who had a baby Emma at the end of November, and has not slept since. Actually, I don't think she's slept since she had her 2-year-old Ada. And every night I get on Snapchat a play-by-play of how bedtime is going, and it has not gone good. So I told her, no one told me this piece of advice for new moms, like when you have those infants right away, especially when I first had the first baby, and I learned my lesson with the second one, is like, you think you're going to be in that moment forever and ever, and then and it can be really all consuming and sort of draining and scary, like I'm never gonna sleep again, or they're never gonna stop nursing, or they're always gonna scream, they're gonna scream in the car forever and ever, which I'm not sure if they ever stop. Like, tell me when they stop screaming, Angie, please. But there's always that next step, that next thing that's your favorite, that next thing that you look back on and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, she wasn't sleeping. And I think that's a good motto. It's been a good motto for me in my life all through these challenging times. Any challenging time that I've had is that phrase that it will pass, and you'll look back on it and you're going to be okay, and we're going to get through it. And when I get nervous and scared at night, or I wake up in the middle of 3 a.m. or one of my babies wakes me up and I can't get back to sleep, it's hard to remember that mantra in the middle of the night, like you're going to be okay, we're going to look back on this and we're going to get through it. But it's something that we got to say to ourselves, and we have to believe. We really have to believe. I know when Dad was sick, because he keeps trying to die on us, but the last couple times he's been in the hospital, it really gives you perspective if you can just say, like, take it day by day, and we're going to get through, and look back. And now he, is out there tooling around. I just passed him on my way to the house, checking calves like 4 to 17 times a day, riding horses, being himself and being together with us in that way we never thought he could be. And here we are with our little kids, and like I said earlier, just cussing them and getting to do all of those mom things, and being annoyed in the mom world. Like, I never got to be a part of that before now, and that's been really fun. Like, yeah, I can relate to you all now. Like, we can all live in that space, and I think that's a really fun world to be involved in. I'm gonna do another song that I wrote off of Northern Lights, thinking about this time in our life, but also ranch living, and there's no one in this world right now that hasn't been and isn't going to be touched by what's happening with this COVID situation. Farmers and ranchers, we're still out there checking calves and looking at the market prices and wondering and hoping that we can get our cattle sold in the fall and get the prices that we need, and farmers are thinking the same thing, and we're not alone in worrying. Small business owners, and some of us are all of those things, right? I think about my family, and I think about our situation right now, where Chad and I are both small business owners. We're both ranchers, and my mom owns a shop in town, and we're just watching it and holding our breath, and yes, Emerald, calving season is the original social distancing. Some of these things, you don't know how antisocial you actually are until you don't have to go anywhere, and like your schedule is just the same. But this life, this is not easy, and I speak of this ranching life. I know I was raised, by my dad, who also, and my parents, they had 2 or 3 jobs plus the ranch, and his sister and brother-in-law did the same thing down in Lemon, South Dakota. I would visit them in the summers, and you saw firsthand the sacrifices that your parents were making for you and for the ranch, and to make sure you got to your 4-H and make sure you got to your rodeo and your basketball, but also raise those cattle and raise those kids and raise those crops. And it's a juggling act, and it certainly isn't easy. But but I don't know what I would do otherwise. I joke, like, especially, you know, I am married to a person who's always doing a construction project, always has his hands in something, and then of course is working on the ranch too. And I look at our yard right now, especially, I'm like, gosh, wouldn't it be easier if I would have just married a chiropractor and we just had to mow the lawn? But I think about this song is kind of based off of that, like this lifestyle we chose, and it is complicated and it is not easy. But what else would we do if it wasn't? Or if it were easy, what else would we do? I think about my Uncle Paul sitting at the old Chuck Wagon Cafe and talking with his buddies, and me going in there with Grandma Edie, and I think, like, if it were easy, we would find a way to make it hard so we would have something to talk about at the Chuck Wagon Cafe. So this is that song. Skin from knuckles and her knees, but not a tear fell from her, not a single scared emotion, except for a kick and a gritting of her teeth. Oh, it ain't easy. Her dad rode up behind her, saying, this world I could not find her. Another girl is brave and strong and free. You know, when you smile, I'm smiling. When you laugh, I'm laughing with you. When you cry, I cannot bear the sound. Oh, it ain't easy, no. Oh, it ain't easy. If it were easy, we'd find another way. We weren't scared as hell, it's not living anyway. Let the hard times in, let us make them great. We don't want to learn a lesson any other way. Sad behind those brown eyes is a woman who still loves him, looking at a man who would not let her down. He said, when you smile, I'm smiling. When you laugh, I'm laughing with you. When you cry, I cannot bear the sound. Oh, it ain't easy. Oh, it ain't easy. No, if it were easy, we'd find another way. If we weren't scared as hell, it's not living anyway. Let the hard times in, let them make us brave. Wouldn't want to learn a lesson any other way. It ain't just muscles on these bones, or the dirt-caked face of home. It's the fight, the breath, the beat, the kind of hope that brings you to your feet. Come on now, girl, the fall's not a sin. You might be broken, but you're gonna live. You're scared as hell, but don't you dare cry. Get back on that horse, get back up and try. The breeze moved past the curtains, and that woman took her last breath. Took a breath right with her in that room. He said all good things so softly, like a wave into the ocean, like a snowflake on a sunny afternoon. It ain't easy, oh, it ain't easy, no. My cheeks are getting hot. If I drink this wine, all of this wine, I'll be drunk hanging out with you till, like I said, 11 when everyone can come back. Play Another Day in Paradise. I don't know that one. I'm sorry. I maybe have my own version of that one. What are you all drinking? I know my family, on my mom's side, has been doing virtual happy hours on the weekends where they get a Zoom meeting going, and my grandma and grandpa they're down in Arizona. And I know I saw Barbie, my Aunt Barbie is on this, is watching tonight, and all my mom's sisters would get on there and have a little virtual happy hour. I'm sure my grandma, she really likes her vodka tonics. She puts a little cherry in there. My grandpa makes that for her. I love that. I'm gonna play a few more for you, and then you can get on to listen to the other musicians that are on the Stay at Home Fest. I think it's a really cool idea. A lot of musicians are doing live concerts, Facebook concerts and things like that. But to get us all together for a common cause and to dedicate a day of local music in our living rooms and in our kitchens, which, by the way, I did not clean. I had to strategically locate myself so that you couldn't see like the dirty dishes. Only we would have a texturing gun in my kitchen sink, along with like all the breakfast dishes. So I just sort of scooched that over. This house, it ain't clean, man. So yeah, Emerald Night Riders is on my new album. So yeah, Night Riders is on that. And oh, Sandy, I think I did just play that one about when the girl falls off the horse. It ain't easy. Wine, cheers, wine and coffee, I see. So Night Riders is on the new album. What else is on there? There's a Neil Young song called Are There Any More Real Cowboys that I'm really excited about. And so that's on there. You Are My Sunshine. Edie's on the new album. She gets to sing. I brought the girls in the studio. That was like crazy chaos when Dad was recording his cuts. And they played, and it was like the longest 3 or 4 hours of my life. It felt like 24 hours in the studio with those girls, but they pulled it off and sang. I want to play the original, a social distancing song for you. Another one off of Northern Lights. Excuse me. This is the boat song. And I just can't decide if I'm an introvert or an extrovert. Because I love planning parties for people. And I love to like make, what's the word? It's why I'm in the line of work I'm in. I love to make experiences for people, and I love performing. But if like someone invites me to a party, I get like nervous because I need a job. Oh, there's Chad. Did you get a turkey?
No.
No turkey. Did you see any?
Yeah.
Did you get my text about staying away because I'm doing a concert?
No.
Well, now you have to sing. Okay, this is called the boat song. There's a lot of words in this. I hear the dogs are barking, someone's pulling in the yard. Sometimes I think they know more than we do. If I had my way, no one be knocking at my door. If I had my way, there'd be no one but you. So I think I need a boat out in the middle of this place. We could sell out all our land and build a ship to outer space. Sick of counting cars, let's count some stars and tally up the waves. Oh, I think I need a boat. I think I need a boat. Let's build us a boat and sail away. I picked you because I like the quiet way you nod and shake your head at funny things I do. All the other boys in town just talk and talk and talk. If I had my way, there'd be no one but you. So I think I need a boat out in the middle of this place. We could sell out all our land and build a ship to outer space. Sick of counting cars, let's count some stars and tally up the waves. Oh, I think I need a boat. I think I need a boat. Let's build us a boat and sail away. Lights on in all the houses, faces blue from TV screens. Horns honk on the freeway, ears and telephones they ring. And I wasn't made for movies, I wasn't made for sidewalks, I wasn't made for fast cars, I wasn't made for fast talk, wasn't made for big plans, all the promises they make. I was made for you to take me on a boat to outer space. So I think I need a boat out in the middle of this place. You could sell out all our land and build a ship to outer space. Sick of counting cars, let's count some stars and tally up the waves. Oh, I think I need a boat. I think I need a boat. Let's build us a boat. Oh, I think I need a boat. Let's build us a boat and sail away. There we go. Made it. No kids. My mom hasn't brought the kids back yet. I see another John Prine song. Oh, Sandy, I'll play you your Girl Needs a Dog song for sure. I'll do Angel from Montgomery for you. Yeah, that's a good one. If Dad were here, he'd play the harmonica. I got a really cool opportunity to play this song. I got to play a few years ago with the Fargo-Moorhead Symphony at Blue Stem. If any of you have been to that facility, it was quite a special night. They played, Russ Peterson arranged my Horses and Home that I had written, so I got to play that with the orchestra, and then I got to play Angel from Montgomery with the orchestra on the big stage outside with that big, powerful, all these musicians behind me. It was quite the incredible experience. So I have to thank Linda Boyd for that, for asking me to be a part of that. Me and Blind Joe, it was quite the night. I learned the song when I was little. Just make sure my guitar's tuned. I dropped this guitar. This guitar I've had since I started playing. It was Dad's. It's a Taylor 510. And I was on a photo shoot for the new album this fall, and my girls were with me because Chad forgot about it, and he was out elk hunting. God love him. And so I'm like, I'll just bring the girls along on the photo shoot, and it was a disaster. Like, they were fighting and crying, and I was yelling at them and then like trying to smile, and one of them had to pee on the prairie, and anyway, I was running after them, and I dropped my guitar right on its neck, and I busted it right here, and John fixed it for me, thank God. Oh, and he's playing along, John. I wish you were here. We should zoom you in. If I was more technologically challenged, we would do that. John, thank you for fixing my Taylor. I picked up another Taylor that's the same guitar. It's not the same. I kept trying different guitars, and I always come back to this one. So maybe I won't be traveling with it as much, but I'll be playing it in the house. So anyway, I'll get to the music. I am an old woman, named after my mother. Your man is another child that's grown old. If dreams were lightning, thunder was desire, this old town would have burned down a long time ago. So make me an angel that flies over Montgomery. Make me a poster of no rodeo. Ooh, just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. He weren't much to look at, just a foolhardy man. Oh, but that was a long time. No matter how I tried, these dreams, they just roll by like a broken down band. So make me an angel that flies over Montgomery. Ooh, make me a poster of no rodeo. Ooh, just give me one thing, Lord, that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. Oh, there's flies in the kitchen. I can hear them buzzing. I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. How the hell can a person go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, and have nothing to say? So make me an angel that flies over Montgomery. Ooh, make me a poster of no rodeo. Ooh, just give me one thing, Lord, that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. So make me an angel that flies over Montgomery. Ooh, make me a poster of no rodeo. Ooh, just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. Good one. How are y'all doing? It's fun to see you all, virtually see you all. But of course, one of my favorite parts about this gig is getting out on the road and seeing you in your wonderful communities. That's been the greatest gift of mine with this music. When I was first doing it, of course, I toured all over the state with my dad, and we were sort of like a father-daughter duo when I was cute and young. And then I took and did my first album when I was around 16 with Tim Melby here in Watford City, and he was over by Alexander Arnegard area, and he had a studio up there and really pushed me to do my own music and write my own music. And with that album, I went out on the road up and down the Midwest and touring colleges and coffee houses, and I got to see so much of the country from the other side of my windshield in a time that we didn't have like good GPS on our phones, right? And so I just had to navigate it the old-fashioned map style. But I got to see these wonderful communities in these small towns, these community colleges. And now I do a lot more local, of course, gigs in North Dakota. And I get to see, I should look at the map and see how many little towns I've traveled to. And every one of them has a heartbeat. And every one of them has a person there or a group of people there that are so enthusiastic about the arts and about community and about bringing people together. And that's why I always find myself there, is because they're gathering. And it's been such a gift to see where they gather, see the buildings and the physical spaces in which you gather, why you gather, the stories that you tell. I am so lucky and humbled when you ask me to be a part of your events, and I'm missing that a lot right now, being able to be on the road this summer. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if I'll be able to get out there. I don't know if we'll be able to hire musicians to play concerts on our streets and in our, fairgrounds and things. But thank you to all of you who have had me in your communities. I just wanted to say that while we have you all kind of listening and watching in this capacity. The other thing I wanted to remind you of, and I did this yesterday, I recorded a little concert for our nursing home residents, some music that they might know, and I'll put that up on YouTube and you can share it, but with anyone you want, but specifically encourage you to share it with anyone that you know that is in a nursing home right now that can't make contact with, and I say like physical contact where you're in the room with them, with anyone right now because of this epidemic. They're lonesome and it's sad and I hate it, but we have to do it to keep them safe. But we're trying to come up with different ways to connect with our nursing home residents. It's part of the work I do with our Arts Foundation. We're getting an artist in because we work with the North Dakota Council on the Arts. They provide us with funding to bring arts into our nursing homes. We're getting an artist from Bismarck coming. I'm so excited about it. On Monday or Tuesday, and she's going to paint pictures on the nursing home residents' windows and talk to them through the window. They can watch her create. I can't wait to see the results, and I hope that you think about your residents in our nursing homes right now and maybe come up with some unique ways to connect with them. Sandy, who requested A Girl Needs a Dog, is going to bring her chickens and her bunnies over to the nursing home. We just need to connect on a time. My friend Callie is doing the same thing on Monday or Tuesday. Her and her dad are bringing over some horses for them to pet, one by one, to go outside and just get some fresh air and have that connection. So thank you, ladies, for doing that. I'll play a song for you now, Sandy. Sandy, the animal lady in Watford City. The animal and museum lady in Watford City. I have a couple dogs. This is A Girl Needs a Dog. You guys know this one. But I wrote it because there's a lot of songs about a man's best friend, but it's us girls who take care of those dogs and beg our parents for those dogs. And I have a pug, though, a really crazy decision that we made in December to bring home a Christmas pug who has yet to be potty trained, and is eating a lot of Barbies and making a lot of little girls upset. But we have fun with them. Pug and a couple cow dogs. This is A Girl Needs a Dog. Yes, Uncle Paul and Vivian, they're in the nursing home. I go and see them. Crumbs drop to your kitchen floor, and then the tears, a little more. Days that seem to last too long, you reach for him. The girl needs a dog. Words unsaid to anyone, he warms your features softly home. Listening to your quiet song, big ears, big heart. A girl needs a dog. A girl needs a dog in times like these, some hope and a plan, clarity. A girl needs a bike or her own car keys. A girl needs a dog. Hey, 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 maybe we'll make a cow dog out of Millie the pug. You never know. Lee, I think my old roommate Lee Nygaard is on here from Crosby. I think you need a dog. Like, why did you almost buy one or get one today? You should just get one. That, you know, I'm just telling you. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for having happy hour with me. I just, my dog might pick up in a bottle of wine. Life is good. That's right. A bottle of wine. And I think I need to refill it and do a cheers. This is my favorite. I like cab. A cheers to all of you for tuning in tonight, and thank you for organizing this stay-at-home festival. I hope that you all go to stayatHomeFest.com and check out the other artists that are playing the rest of the night. It's a great platform to get us all together. I know I probably wouldn't have done something like this if it wasn't for the push to be part of this fest, and I'm so happy that I did it because it reminds me that you're all out there and you're all listening, and now you can connect with one another in that way. And thank you for your support of musicians like me throughout the years, and especially in this time. I cannot wait to get the new album out to you. I cannot wait to be back on the road again with my dad and John and Kelly. Hopefully neighbor Kelly will come with us and do some yodeling. So watch on JessieVeedermusic.com. Of course, and Mike Endrud too. Mike Endrud played in bands with Dad when they were younger men, and now they're older men and are playing with me. And Mike's played with me my entire childhood, my entire musical career. He's moved himself to Bismarck now, so hopefully you'll all get to see a little bit more of him in different capacities if you're in that area. But Mike and Kelly and Dad and I and John and I will be on the road as soon as we can, playing these songs for you live and in person. Until then, I mean, this is where I'm at. I'm hanging out with my kids. The weather's warming up. We're having calves, picking crocuses, landscaping a little, pushing the girls on the swings like all day long. It's a good life, and I hope you're finding your happy place at home where you're safe and sound, and hopefully we can get back to work soon and remain healthy and just keep loving each other, keep supporting each other, and thank you so much. I'm going to cheers to you. I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite songs that I've written that kind of puts me in a nice headspace to tackle whatever's ahead. And I am the great-granddaughter of a Norwegian immigrant. Her name is Grandma Gudrun. And I was thinking about Grandma, especially in these times, thinking about what she would think, right? And I remember her in the nursing home at the Good Shepherd home. I was old enough to remember her when she was still alive, but she was a 16 years old when she came over from Ellis Island and came over to Ellis Island from Norway and into the middle of the country, into Minnesota, and then met her husband, and they came to settle on the homestead basically right next door to where I'm raising my kids. So my grandpa Pete Veeder and Edith Linseth were neighbors growing up. And but Grandma Gudrun was Grandma Edie's mother, and she raised 12 kids, 13 kids really. And Grandma Edie was a girl right in the middle of all of those kids. We lost one of the last of those. There's 2 men standing out of the 12 kids that she raised out on this prairie. Good men and women with lots of stories under their belts. And I just wish Grandma Edie would have lived a little bit longer to teach me some things. But great Grandma Gudrun, I think about her, coming to the middle of nowhere. And on a windy day like this, even especially, or in the coldest days of the winter, what they were thinking when they're out here without heat and without the necessities that we've deemed necessities now in the middle of nowhere. Like, we say we're kind of rustic ranch women living, out here, but I mean, I have air conditioning, and I have heat, and I have a car that I'm driving my kids around in that has a movie playing in the back. Like, whatever, we don't know hard, right? And but Grandma Gudrun did. She knew hard, and she still had a sense of humor even into her last days when she was in her 90s. She lived to be almost 100. She outlived a lot of her children. And the kind of grit and attitude and just, I don't know, faith and muscles that she had to have to raise those kids out here is incredible. And I don't understand it. I can't even fathom what that would be like, except on the days that I'm complaining about my girls being kind of hard and like parenting being hard. And it's like, I've got chicken nuggets, I've got a microwave, I have Netflix, and I can order diapers on Amazon. And Grandma Gudrun, you know, they had to work for every little bit of food that they put on the table. They had to work for every bit of anything that they had. But those people built this community for us out here. And so I was thinking about her when my husband and I were in a little bit of an argument. I mean, we're mostly perfect. We don't ever argue. But about things that we wanted to get done on the ranch. And I wanted some landscaping and he needed to go fencing. And I thought about great grandma Gudrun. He wouldn't teach me to drive the Bobcat that day to move some scoria. And then we had a similar, and those of you who've been at my shows know this story, but a similar conversation about me learning how to do the chainsaw. I wanted to use the chainsaw, and he said, Jessie, if I teach you to use a chainsaw, you'll be the only woman who'll figure out how to cut her own damn head off. He's not wrong. He knows me. He's known me since I was 11 years old. But I was so annoyed with him, like, come on, man, just do what I want to do here. We got to get some of this stuff done. And he had his own agenda. And so I went outside and I thought about Grandma Gudrun, and like, if you want something done out here, I imagine we have to do it ourselves, right? So pull on your pants, girl, and get to work. So I went out there and I shoveled scoria in the kind of rain. It was kind of cold. And I shoveled long enough, about 20 minutes, to come back in and write this song. Now work, girl, show me your muscle. Work, girl, pull back your hair. Work, girl, the day is long. Work ain't going nowhere. Picking rocks and raising babies, pennies, heads up on the street, muddy boots and no complaining. Gotta keep shoes on their feet. Might be born to be a sinner, might be born to be a saint, might be born to save each other, weren't born with money in the bank. And work, girl, show me your muscles. Work, girl, pull back your hair. Work, girl, the day is long. Work ain't going nowhere. When I fall, I get back up. Tell myself to drive this truck. Rains and shines on all this dirt. Pull on your pants, girl, get to work. We can't be raised to wait for the day someone show us what's right. Car is broke, oh girl, you fix it. Can't fix it, go get your bike. Trees need trimming, get the chainsaw. Gardens planted, horses fed. Monday comes, you button up, girl. 9 to 5 and 5 till bed. And work, girl, show me your muscles. Work, girl, pull back your hair. Work, girl, the day is long. Work ain't going nowhere. When I fall, I get back up. Told myself to drive this truck. Rains and shines on all this dirt. Pull on your pants, girl, get to work. He can't lift it, you can push it. Thinks he knows, well, so do you. Get some wire and make the lights work. Climb that ladder, get the tube. And work, girl, show me your muscles. Work, girl, pull back your hair. Work, girl, the day is long. Work ain't going nowhere. Taught myself to drive this truck. Rains and shines on all this dirt. Pull on your pants, girl, get to work. back your head. Work, girl, the day is long. Work ain't going nowhere. And work, girl, don't wait for no man. Can't do what you can. Work, girl, so nail and grind. Work, go build you a life. And work, girl, the clock is ticking. Go cut a path. You hear them talking. Work, girl, go kick some. Woo! Oh, hi, Manette. Manette helps me with the girls. Manette, this song is on Northern Lights, and I also have it on there is a video for it on YouTube, so you can check that out. Just type in work and Jessie Veeder music. A lot of my stuff is on YouTube, and we'll be doing some fun things with album release coming up in June, some videos as well. So watch for that. Thank you all for being here with me in the middle of nowhere. I feel what an amazing and powerful thing this is to connect with you all from all over the corners of the country. It's a wonderful thing. Cheers to you. Now I need to figure out what to make for supper. I think maybe hamburgers, not turkey tonight. Thank you for putting this on, the Stay at Home Fest. Make sure you go to stayathomefest.com, check out the other musicians coming up, and this will be hopefully you'll be able to rewatch this if you're just tuning in now. You'll be able to rewind it and watch it again and listen to me ramble. It's been a little while since I've been out in public. I love you, and thank you. Have a great night.